What's up, guys? It's your boy Cutting Up with Dan here on Straight Outta Content. Today we're gonna be filming Donovan getting his fresh cut. What he gets is a little technical haircut because his hair texture is curly, but it's not a tight curl, it's a looser curl. So what I'm doing today is he's gonna rock a lower cut for the summer, but he normally gets a drop fade, but it's a semi-fade with a harder taper on the side, which is a little difficult cut to do on his type of hair.
Explain the harder taper. Is there a medium taper? Is there a soft taper?
Yeah, well, we're gonna go bald on his taper on the sides and in the back, but on the side, since he don't wear a hard drop fade, it's not a bald fade on the side. Okay. So the on the sides, we're gonna go a little bit lighter.
Okay. So what Daniel's doing right now, guys, is he's also filming for his channel, and what he's doing is he's filming, he's going to cut out the sound, and then he's going to do a voiceover in post-production. So we're kind of getting the behind the scenes as well. And what we do for businesses is Straight Outta Content was designed to have to build a platform big enough to have other companies get on the platform and get exposure through our many subscribers. So that's what we're here doing right now. Is we are filming Daniel or Danny cut Donovan's hair as well as mine, and we'll be asking him a lot of questions and stuff like that. So this is not normal. Most barbers don't want you in their shop filming and stuff like that. But if Dana, if you actually want to talk about the inspiration that you got for your YouTube channel to start doing this. I know you mentioned that you watch a couple of guys, if you want to shout them out, and some of your inspirations to start filming your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, well I watch a couple guys like Chris Basio and also Sean Cuts Hair, and I watch those guys go from being regular barbers to being entrepreneurs and owning their own businesses. And I've been doing this for 24 years, and me having a smaller shop and wanting to take it to the next level, watching those guys grow and how they blew up, I'm just inspired by them. And you guys also inspire me. I watch y'all channel also. I watch y'all grow from having jobs and working to quitting y'all jobs and starting y'all channel and doing great things in the community. Awesome. And what I'm doing right now in Donovan is I'm running the number 4 across his hair.
Now, do you do the same technique that we saw in your other video? And guys, go check out that video with Danny's son, where he shows his unique technique where you're cutting it down, but then you're combing it back up and then using the same guard again?
Yeah, that's a wave technique that I kind of came up with on my own.
Okay.
Just over the years, sometimes people don't like their hair at the correct length of the guard, and if I go to the next level, it tend to take it a little bit lower. Okay. So just from feedback, you gotta pay attention to what your customers want. Sometimes your customers will tell you like, hey man, last time it was a little too low, but I don't want it that thick. So okay. I kind of figured out if I lift the hair and comb it back with the grain and go back over it again, I'll be able to take a little more length off with the same blade. Okay. But on his type of hair, since he have a looser curl and not really a wave, I'm not gonna use that technique. And now what I'm doing is I'm setting myself a guide for the taper on the sides, the harder taper. So you're gonna see me put this ball line in.
So again, guys, I'm not getting close because the focus of the video is to get Danny. I don't know why I keep calling you Daniel in the video, and I know you as Danny. I'm trying to be as professional as possible. But again, if you wanna see the actual precise description of the video, you gotta click the link in the description below, head on over to Cutting Up with Dan YouTube channel, and you will see him explain exactly what he's doing. So this right here is just really more behind the scenes, so he's gonna give us the general idea of what's going on. But we also have a list of questions here that we're going to ask him. So Chelly, what's your first question that you have?
Well, Danny kind of already introduced himself to us and to the channel previously. But my question is, since this is a business spotlight, what inspired you to start Phases Barbershop from the very beginning?
Actually, I ended up having to open this shop because I was put in a messed up position at a shop that I used to work at. So the lady ended up wanting to open up another shop, but she didn't tell us, she didn't give us any kind of warning. She was pretty much breaking her lease and gonna just move us to another location, and she gave us like 2 days notice. So I was like, I'm not gonna let you play with my life like that. So that's not fair for me or for the people that's working here for you to just up and move us somewhere else. So if I'm gonna let somebody have that kind of power over me, I'm gonna do it myself. And so that's what motivated us to open up this location.
Oh, okay. So the business partners that you have now are who you started with, that you moved with from that last shop?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been in business here at Phases?
We've been here for 14 years.
Oh, wow. 14 years.
So I got a question because I think my first cut from you was at that original shop. Is that correct?
No, actually, you came to me when I was at another location. At the first location I ever worked at.
Oh, okay. And then after that, you were at another location. I think that was that when I went back to New York?
Yes.
And then when I came back, that's when you had your own location.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was just trying to just get some history because I do remember him back when he had long braids like Slim Thug. And it was at a location. I went back to New York and then I came back and he had his own location. So Phases has always been the name?
Yes, sir.
So way back when I came back from New York, it was named I guess I don't remember the name now that I think about it. Yeah, I think it's just I'm just going to see Danny. I don't think I ever remember the name. And then this is your third location, correct?
Yes.
How long have you been at this location?
We've been here for 14 years.
This one has been 14 years?
This one has been 14
I'm getting
years.
old. You are. I'm getting old. It doesn't feel like 14 years.
It don't feel like 14 years to me. It don't feel like I've been cutting for 24 years.
That is crazy. It feels like just the other day you were at Rankin.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, here goes Shelly with some more questions. Well, go ahead, Danny.
So what I'm thinking about doing now, though, is branching off on my own. I've tried the business partner thing, and I like it, but I don't like it. There's some things that I don't like about it.
Well, we're gonna save that for my video.
Okay.
And what inspired you? Yes, I want to hear what inspired that as well. So for Phases Barbershop here, what services do you offer? Do you have any like specialties or signature styles that you're known for?
Yeah, a lot of people come to me for like a drop fade, and I call it the Dave fade. So we got a guy that work here by the name of Dave. They call him GP Bobby. He also a rapper. His particular haircut, a lot of people love it. And they be like, I want my haircut like his. So when they see him cutting and they see his cut, they be like, I want that. And so I start calling it the Dave fade, but it's really just a drop fade or AKA a low fade.
Okay. And how do you stay updated with the latest trends in hairstyling and haircut?
Well, by us being in Houston, Texas, man, a lot of times we are behind. I don't know why in the hair industry, Houston is always a little bit behind everybody else. But places like Florida, you go up north to New York, Chicago, LA, they always way ahead of us, like by a couple years. So I always follow these guys. When YouTube started getting big and Instagram, I started following all these guys that cut hair in all these places. And so it kind of keep me ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you definitely got to keep up with those trends and see, in like any industry, it moves fast, goes fast.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. So what is your favorite part of running Phases Barbershop?
My favorite part is that I don't have anybody telling me what to do. But you have to be real disciplined. That's a thing about this business. If you're not a disciplined person, then this business will run over you, or you could get left behind.
Can you give us some examples?
Okay, if you're not disciplined, nobody's telling you what time to clock in, what time to come to work. And if you want to have a nice clientele that's loyal to you, you need to be consistent. You need to have a set time that you're gonna be working, because what people like is people like consistency. They like availability. And if you're not in the shop then, and people trying to get their haircut, or people trying to get their haircut and you telling them, oh man, I'm gonna be there at 2, and then you're not here at 2, then you're gonna potentially lose your clientele to a guy like me, who say when I'm gonna be here at 8:30 in the morning, I'm gonna be here at 8:15. And when I say I'm gonna be here to 6, I'm gonna be here all the way till 6 o'clock.
When you talk about availability, can you talk about the difference in availability, how the game kind of changed? Because I remember when I came to you, appointments wasn't really a thing, and now it's almost mandatory.
Yes, sir. Well, it made the business more effective and efficient going to appointments, because before I switched to appointments, I was about to quit cutting hair. I was gonna go get me a 9 to 5 because I was like, hey man, these people gonna kill me. And what was happening was I would be in the shop all day. I would get to the shop at, let's say 8:30 in the morning. I might cut 4 or 5 heads before 12. And then I would have these long gaps, like 2, 3, 4 hours. And then all of a sudden after school, I would get this rush of people. So now you're trying to cut all of these people in a short amount of time when we close at 7, 8 o'clock at night. And now I got 10, 12 people trying to get a cut at 4. So that's ineffective and inefficient. So by me switching to appointments, it kind of made people come in at those times where I was having those gaps. Because what time you normally get your hair cut? Like in the middle of the day?
Yeah, I think now I try to book it for Tuesdays, and I try to do it, in the middle of the day, anytime really before 2 or 3, because that's when traffic starts to build and I gotta head back either back to Cypress or back now up to Conroe.
Yeah.
So I try to get it, right, really a little after, because we came today around 10:30, but we're talking anytime after 11 and definitely before 3, we try to squeeze that in.
Yeah, so me going to appointments made people adjust to me versus me adjusting to people.
Having that control.
Yes.
So with that, did that change the amount of money that you were able to make?
Most definitely. It took my money up instantly.
Did you, with every change, especially for the people watching, maybe you guys aren't here from the hair world, maybe you're here from the print world, and as we know in our industry, whenever we change something, sometimes we may lose some customers get disgruntled. So did you face any of that when you switched over to appointment only, or did it actually work out better because people were able to schedule?
What it did was it changed the type of clientele that I had. I didn't do appointments for 5 years, the first 5 years while I cut. So I had customers ranging from drug dealers to preachers to businessmen to investment bankers and people like that. So what it did was it got rid of a bunch of guys I really didn't want to be cutting their hair anyway. So it took me to another level instantly. And I started getting a more professional clientele, people who cared about their time. You know, there's still some guys that want to come in and try to, oh man, I'll give you 100 if I can get in line. And I'm like, hey man, no. That was one of the hardest things to do.
Was to turn down money?
Yes, but in the long run, it benefited me more because the people who I had, they felt like VIP customers. Because once they see this dude was trying to give me $100 to get his hair cut, but I'm not gonna let him skip my line, and I'm gonna give them their appointment that they took the time to make with me. It made them feel more important.
So is that something that you would recommend, as we, as the saying goes, not all money is good money, and you don't want to do anything just for money? So it's kind of the same thing that I'm hearing you say is, hey, my time and the people who appreciate my time are more valuable than the people who just want to throw money at me.
Most definitely, because those people who trying to just throw money at you, it might be a one-time thing versus this person who gonna come spend 40, 50 bucks with you every week. So I'm in it for the longevity, not for the quick buck.
What advice would you give someone looking to start their own barbershop?
The number one advice I would give somebody is be careful what lease you sign. This guy where I leased this building from, I ended up going to real estate school and getting my real estate license because the first lease that we had was so janky. Our AC went out and it was so cloudy in the lease that you couldn't tell who was responsible for it. And so a lot of these people who lease these buildings, they'll try to get over on you. So most definitely pay attention to the lease that you sign. It's probably worth the money to hire a lawyer to look over it.
Yeah, I recommend that as well. From whenever we had our retail location, they will try to squeeze anything in that lease if you're not knowledgeable. So yeah, I definitely recommend that as well.
Yeah.
What sets Phases Barbershop apart from other barbershops in the area?
I would say what sets us apart is the environment. We try to have a family-friendly environment around here, even though the business around us kind of get in our way sometimes. But when you come in we always friendly. We always laughing and joking. We have a pretty good group of people that come to this shop. So
That was going to be my next question. It was going to be, what kind of atmosphere and culture do you promote in your shop? So friendly with the boys, you know, classic barbershop. I've seen it.
oh
Classic
yeah,
barbershop.
yeah. Women can come in and feel comfortable. Like we don't do a lot of like, we clown around, but like the language and all of that stuff, we try to keep it clean most of the time. Every now and again, you get the right combination of people in here. It's gonna get rowdy. But we always, somebody is always alert to where if an elderly person or a woman walks in, where we like, hey, guys, calm it down a little bit.
Or kids.
Yes,
Or
or kids.
children, yes.
Some of the kids are the rowdy ones though.
So at what stage of the process are you at when you're cutting his hair right now? And for a child, Donovan's 12, are you trying to keep a mental time in your head? Or at this point, you kind of already know about how far in you are, as far as minutes?
Yeah, I kind of know how long it takes me. Like the way that I cut hair, man, it's a little different from what I see people doing. I see a lot of people using the adjustable clippers and guards. I use those, but not as much as a lot of other people. I use detachable blade clippers, and the reason why is because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. I know exactly what these blades gonna do. And I've been doing it so long, I know what it's gonna do on different types and different textures of hair. And so I kind of came up with a system myself, and I call it the skipper blade system. And so what I do is I have all these blades in this tray right here. And when I start cutting, I'll use this blade, then I jump to this one, then I take the line out with this one, jump to the next one, take the line out with that one. So I kind of came up with a system myself to where it makes the haircut efficient. And then if I leave any kind of lines in there, I take my masters and I go back and do detail work. So my haircuts average about 30 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, at most 35 minutes.
So I think, and again, anybody out there watching from the hair community, or maybe if you want to get into being a barber, or just maybe you just like watching the content and maybe you cut your family's hair just in the house. I saw you talking about that in your video. So now that you're explaining it, it makes sense, because in the video, I'm like, it's a hard line. Then he said he's going back, but I didn't get to see that kit of, what are those called, blades?
Yeah.
Blades over there. So now it's all like making sense, because I seen the video in which you explained, but I guess I didn't get it until right now. Now I put two and two together and go, oh, okay, that's how he's able to. Because, you know, we're not watching our own hair be cut.
Right.
But at the end, you know, we come in looking crazy and we come out looking nice, son. So the question that I had in regards to how long it takes, at this point, can you just look at somebody's head and just tell automatically like how long it could take and what you can do to it, or critique what somebody else might have done wrong?
Oh, most definitely, man. When I go to church, I'm in there, and I used to sit on the front row. Now I sit in the middle of our church, and man, when people walk by, it just drives me nuts when I see the back of their head or somebody sit in front of me, and I know which blades the barber missed.
Really?
Yes.
So do they not know you cut hair in the church?
Some people do. But I don't cut everybody I'm a busy barber. I'm full every single day that I come in the shop. So even if they did, it's probably a low chance that they could get in with me.
How long did it take for you to get that full? Like when you first started up until, because you seemed really popular when I came to Texas. And then when I got my hair cut, I said, this is it. Like, because you in the barber world, once you find a barber, that's it. That should be, don't be bouncing around. So, and I'm very particular, like you said, coming from New York, when I came here, I'm like, okay, great. He can cut my hair just like I need it. I'm still valid everywhere I go. And I get a unique haircut too, so, in which you guys will see in the video. So make sure you go check out that video too, where you see me get my haircut. Because coming from New York, we have like a little bit different style, and I was noticing that the tapers are different. Actually, we can talk about it in minutes, because this one's gonna be more about hair.
Yeah.
And you explain the difference between the type of taper that I get, which is kind of like your son, versus the traditional taper. Because I remember you telling me a story where you were like, I think it's like a Louisiana thing. If they go any higher, they're gonna get upset. And you can kind of go into that and elaborate more.
Yeah, your particular haircut, man, you get what's called a high taper. A lot of people don't like that cut, but there's a special group of people that do, and not every barber know how to do it.
I know how to do it right.
Yeah, it's almost like doing a ball fade.
Or right at like the temple, the corner. And again, guys, the one that he did on his son, who's got a way better hairline than me, looks perfect. And that's really how it like reminded me of myself when I was a kid, because our waves are serious, especially back home in New York. So to even see waves out here, especially in 2024, is rare because everybody wants to grow their hair out. And then when I seen you, but he doesn't get, what does he get? What is that actually called?
My son, he gets, you saying my son or Donovan?
Yeah, your son.
My son gets a mid taper.
A mid taper.
Yeah.
So that's different.
Similar to what Donovan has right now.
But it's still higher than the traditional, like.
Yeah, some people like the low taper. Some people want their waves to go all the way down, and then they just want the bottom tapered out.
Okay. And then what Donovan got is that a taper on the side with a drop fade too?
Yes, but the drop fade is actually like a semi-ball fade on Donovan.
Yes, and that's because what I love about mine is I'm thinking 3 days ahead. So I'm thinking when it comes back, that it's still got that look, you know what I mean? That I could still be fresh, especially if I'm able to keep the do-rag on for, consecutive days after the cut.
Yeah.
It'll still look fresh 3 days in versus if you just hit it real low or you don't hit it low enough, then you're kind of like back to normal. And then you got to make sure that your waves are tight until your next cut.
Hey man, that's pretty smart. I never really thought that's why you did that. And when I think about it, probably 3 days later, your haircut probably looked like my son when he first get his haircut.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I'm very particular. Hey, edge it up and then bald fade it out, because when this comes back, it's gonna look, you know what I mean? I still got like another 3-4 days to go, because in our world, like Chelly would be like, no, your hair looks fine. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I still need, and even Donovan's hair, his hair, he's probably gonna look like that for like 7 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start, we're gonna start to grow in, all right, that third day. So like if you get your hair cut on Friday, by Monday, you like, dang, I'm, my best days are behind me. Now I gotta try to hold it off until my next cut.
Right.
If you go on Friday till, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the reason why I do it. So whenever it comes in, as long as I keep and that's really why I've been getting it cut kind of lower too, because once it kind of grows in the line and then the length of the hair starts to grow up, I can still maintain the waves. And they don't get crazy because my hair wants to go up instead of lay straight.
Right.
It wants to kind of come up. It's very weird. So just over the years of learning, like, hey, okay, if you want it to last the longest and still look precise, this is what you got to do.
All right, Barber Danny. In the world of business and entrepreneurship, marketing is very important in this world. We learned that, I think, our first year of business, we did no marketing. It was all organic, just putting out videos and things. Do you have marketing strategies that you use for your business?
I'm gonna tell y'all something wild that may be unbelievable. I've never, ever had to pass out any business cards since I've been in business. I've never given anybody a business card that didn't ask me for one.
You want to know why? Go ahead. No, because I know it's the same. Go ahead.
The best marketing for a barber is your actual cut in the person. So
it speaks volumes.
Yes.
It speaks volumes. Your
best
work.
word of mouth, your best marketing tool is gonna be word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So if you put all that you have and put all the good things that's inside of you into your craft, it'll pay you back dividends 10 times over.
I can attest to that, being in New York and here. And then even having, I don't know if he was trying to finesse me or not, but he was like, yo, your barber's, I seen you, remember, old boy from back home? He was like, your barber did a nice job on your cut, because I was on live one day on one of my YouTube videos. But I'm glad that you said that, Danny, because I really want to attest to that. Like I said, been getting my hair cut from you for 20 years.
Right.
You don't know how many men come up to me, where you get your hair cut at, I get their information, I send it to Danny. Now, I don't know if they book a cut or not, but that happens to me all the time. And that's what makes me feel like I know I got the right guy. Even the video that you did for your son, I sent it to my boy who's paying $100 a cut. I'm like, yo, son, I'm telling you, you You're just paying just to pay, because if it's about quality, then you shouldn't. And again, I guess we can talk about this. This is a question that I have, is with everything going on right now that Chelly talks about marketing and social media and stuff like that, what's your opinion? And again, this is going on my platform, not on yours, so you can voice your opinion however you want. What's your opinion on mid-barbers or these new guys using social media to garner a higher wage or a higher rate?
Man, I actually love it.
Really? Okay.
Because it gives me a different perspective of this industry, and I see where it's going. Like, I tell my other barber, he been cutting a long time just like me, and what I tell him is, if you don't learn this, what these new barbers and these younger people got going on, you're gonna get left and you're gonna get ran over. Because what's happening is the industry, it can change overnight. And we've seen a lot of businesses change overnight. We've seen Blockbuster go out of business because of Netflix. We seen,
Yes.
well, even they went out of business because of Redbox, and then Redbox went out of business because of Netflix.
Yep,
so
exactly.
when you think about that kind of stuff, it's like if your brain can't go to these new levels, you'll just get left.
And is there a consensus in the barber community between the traditional barbers versus the old school barbers, I guess, versus the new school? Again, when it comes to, because I guess as somebody who gets my cut done, and I see somebody paying this tremendous amount, or I see something on YouTube or Instagram where they're doing all this extra stuff, but the cut doesn't look like the amount of money that's being paid. I always have that question, like, is this just where it's going? Because it's kind of been like this
For so long.
Yeah. And in our community, we've always paid a lower rate than some of the other nationalities.
Yeah.
Right? And then now it's starting to seem like that it's starting to even out.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I graduated barber school in the year 2000. So for haircuts was like 10, 12 bucks back then.
Yeah.
So haircuts stayed 10, 12 bucks for a really long time, and then it went to 15, then I think 18, 20, then 25. And me, when I first started seeing these barbers out here charging 50, 100 bucks for a cut, I was like, whoa, what is happening here? And I'm looking at these cuts. Now, I've seen guys whose cuts I see and I be like, oh, that's worth it. But that's far few in between. Most of the cuts I see, I can't say if it's worth it or not, like, because if somebody's willing to pay you that and that's what you charge, that's just what you charge. But the industry is definitely changing. And like I said, like for an older barber, if his mindset don't come forward, I mean, he's just gonna be out here playing himself, in my opinion.
In your opinion, is social media required for a barber in 2024?
Yes.
Even though you
guys just asked me a question about marketing, and I've never had to market, but what I'm doing right now with YouTube and Instagram is I'm just now learning this stuff. I have my kids teaching me how to post on my stories and post haircuts on my reels, put music on my videos and cuts. So yeah, most definitely. It's the easiest way to access a lot of people.
Now, from somebody from your position, and again, you and I will talk more about this in our video. So again, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also make sure you watch part 2, where him and I are gonna talk more about the business. Danny and I are gonna talk more about the business, and that's really where I have a question is, when you're doing something that works, what makes you want to, as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you are booked. Don't you have like over 400 clients?
Yes, sir.
So I really want to get into your evolution and the transition that you are going to make as you move forward, and you're going to use social media, your YouTube channel, build your brand technically globally, because now everybody will be able to see your talent and how you cut, and then use that to franchise and open up more locations for people to come to and get their haircut by you, but also barbers that you train and stuff like that. So I really want to get into that.
Okay.
That's a question that I always have for people is, as we see in our industry, I'll use screen printing for an example. People will screen print and they've hit that limit. They've hit that 7-figure limit, or not even limit. They've hit that 7-figure number, and they've been doing that consistently. There's no reason for them to add other print processes like stickers or DTF or anything else, because they've been doing it for so long. Or even at that point, social media. So I always like to ask people, well, what would make you want to jump into this if you don't necessarily have to, Because as we're filming this and as you've been filming recently and adding more content to your channel, it's difficult, correct?
I kind of got lost in all of the talk, but what's difficult?
Well, yeah.
Filming and adding all of this that you're doing right now to your regular everyday schedule, because you're also a realtor.
Yeah, well, what happened is here recently, and I'm gonna go back a little bit because there's something that changed in our industry that made prices go to where they went to, and that was the pandemic. So what happened during the pandemic was everything closed down. Now all of a sudden the value of a barber just shot through the roof. I had people calling me, they didn't care about COVID. They like, yo, I'll give you $150 to come to your house. Like, and that never really went away. So what happened is some barbers, they just took advantage and they was like, hey man, like I'm gonna go get me a suite and I'm not gonna work in a barbershop environment and I'm just gonna keep my prices high. And I think a lot of people just stuck with it. And that's probably what pushed our industry to start going to new levels and new heights. But to ask social media, what happened to me is I started watching Chris Basio. I started watching Sean Cuts Hair, and I started watching all these other guys in the industry take it to another level. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna reduce all of these services. Like I used to do lineups, I used to do beard trims only, and I just took it all away and I started focusing on only haircuts and the haircut and beard. And I came up with 2 prices. And if you need something else, I'll send you to one of my other barbers. And so what happened is it ended up freeing up a lot of time. So, and what I mean by freeing up a lot of time is it kept me busy and I make more money, but I was able to go to working 4 days a week. And so now I have 3 days off. So, you know, even if I get to film 1 video or 2 videos a day, I'm able to edit those videos when I'm off.
Okay. Right. This has been a great video. Looks like Donovan's almost done, or basically done. Boy, looking sharp.
Smile, Donovan.
Oh, you got facial hair, Donovan? He got facial.
Yeah.
One day. Yeah, remember the rule Danny taught you? Can't trust a man without facial hair.
I remember that, but I'll make sure to remember that.
He underage. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
all
sorry
right, so
about that,
stand over here, D, and let Danny take you out.
Hey man, I appreciate you guys joining us today. I appreciate Straight Outta Content for coming in my shop, doing this interview. Remember my channel is Cutting Up with Dan. Check them out. Got Donovan fresh. Got that hard taper on the sides with that light fade on the turnaround, boy. Got him looking real nice. So let me get this hair off of him. There you go. All right, appreciate you guys joining us today. Peace.